this tribute from District 4, aren't you? The career district, isn't that right? Well, we have very limited time here on the airship. I know that we've just picked you up, we don't do trains anymore. Airships are, I would say, slower but safer nowadays. You know, we don't get through all the districts, we don't get through all that. But as you can tell, there is someone showering in the corridor next to me. And also, there's the jet engines running in the background, if you can hear. We will be going through each Hunger Games ever since the first. Keep in mind that this is all my fandom and none of this is actually real. So, to help you prepare, I will be going through the arenas. The first ever Hunger Games arena was the full season arena. There were 4 sections of the arena, each having a certain season: winter, spring, summer, and fall. It was one of the hardest arenas there was. The winner was a District 1 male. The second was a war wasteland, a battlefield if you must. And it was a District 1 female who won that one. The third one, it was a beach, and a District 4 female won that one. The fourth was an abandoned city. This one was especially hard because there wasn't much water, there wasn't much of anything, it was just ruins. So that's why that game only lasted a week. The sixth was the Sky High Arena with a Game Masters built it in the sky. It was luxurious and beautiful, but the water was poisonous. Not all of it, just a small portion of it, and the portion of it ran down the side of the arena. In fact, the District 4 winner from there won his games by pushing the last tribute off the side of the arena. It was glorious. I wish you would have been there for it. The seventh was the Frozen Tundra, won by a District 2 male. The Frozen Tundra was it was harder than the war. It was harder than the war wasteland and the abandoned city because everything was frozen. It was so very hard to get water, and it was very hard to seek warmth. It was very hard without sponsors. A lot of people died if they didn't have sponsors during that game. The eighth was the airship, and it was a District 11 female. The airship was especially different because, the arena was built in the air and it was suspended, and it was very risky for them to do that. That's why I think they never did anything like it again. Ninth was the Underground Cities. The ninth Hunger Games, the Underground Cities, won by a District 4 male. 10th was the Floating Bridge Islands. District 2 female won that one. Now, this one may sound a lot like the Sky High Arena, but it's not. The Sky High Arena was one island in the sky. This one are islands, multiple different islands, smaller, connected by rickety bridges. The 11th Hunger Games were the Crystal Caverns. The twin of the last year's games won this one. Again, District 2, Crystal Caverns. This one was a beautiful arena, very beautiful. 15th was the Floating Water City. Now this one was mainly made up of water, and it had various animals living within the deep. And that was won by a District 3 female. Erie Marshlands were the 16th Hunger Games, and a District 8 female won that one. The next one was another one of the hardest arenas, which was the 17th Hunger Games, the Labyrinth of Mirrors, won by a District 5 female. She won because she was smart, and it was a reflection arena. Everything reflected back, and it was a very difficult arena if you weren't very smart. The 18th was Swampland. Swampland won by District 9. District 9 male. Number 19 was Moonlight Nightscape, an arena that was all the time dark. It was never bright. It was a very clever idea. And that was won by a District 3 female. A District 9 male won Volcanic Landscape. And this was a very tough arena, so I'm not surprised that a male won. A District 4 male won the Ancient Temple Arena. It was in an ancient temple, and a lot of the duels were all ancient duels, and it was a very interesting arena to watch. Then the next one was Beautiful Oasis, won by District 7 female. This one was very hard because everything was beautiful but poisonous. Oversized City was the 23rd Hunger Games, won by a District 10 female. Oversized City, it was massive. It was recollection of the modern day New York about 400 years ago, if you've learned about that in history. And that game took about a whole month to finish, and it was a very interesting watch that year. I do remember most people survived the cornucopia. I only feel like 3 died during the cornucopia because it was so big. Hot Springs were the 24th arena. District 1 female won the Hot Springs. This was very challenging because geysers would just explode out of nowhere, and 2 tributes died because they were standing in the middle of a geyser. They were. The 25th Hunger Games, the first coup de quell, was the Tropical Clock Arena. Every single section went every hour. There were 12 sections, and every hour, for all 12 hours of the day, one section would go off at a time, and it was a very challenging Hunger Games, one of probably, I would say, top 3 hardest arenas that there was. The Forest was won by a District 1 male, if I didn't mention. The Forest was the 26th Hunger Games, won by a District 2 female. The 27th Hunger Games were the Tropics, won by a District 1 male. The 28th Hunger Games were an abandoned town, won by a District 7 male. This one did not, it was not like the Oversized City. It was a small town. It was a town like houses, not buildings. 29th was the Snowy Mountains. Very hard, just like the frozen tundra. Very hard to find. Very hard to keep warm. That was won by a smart District 3 male. Alien Landscape was the 30th Hunger Games, and it was an alien landscape because it was like another world. It was like another world. It was like another world. And the terrain was different. The color of the trees and the grass were different, if you even want to call them trees. The 31st Hunger Games was an abandoned amusement park, my personal favorite, won by a District 8 male. because these last years have been very hard, and usually they tend to let up after a little bit, and I just think you'll be getting a slightly easier arena, but I do think it has the possibility of being in the sky because we've not had a sky arena in a very long time. All arenas are different every year, so we must get you as prepared as possible. Oh, what are these? Oh, the Capitol had them installed. There we go. Now they're great. There's a lot more, you just can't see them at the moment. But we will be getting you ready for the interview as Caesar. So, I'm just going to reapply some blush that your makeup artist did. Snow will not be pleased if anything is out of order. What? Yes, you need... We've told you this, you have to make alliances, especially with your fellow careers. It's not about trust, it's about staying alive. Look, if you want my honest opinion, if you want my true honest opinion, the Hunger Games, these games are just hiding. They're hiding the bigger picture. Look, a male has not won in 3 years. Since the 31st Hunger Games, a male has not won. You will either break the streak or keep it going. So, what are you going to do? What's your plan? I'm sorry. What? You're telling me you plan to run from the cornucopia with no allies. So you're going to get no weapons and you're going to have no help. You're not going to be the one who hides. We've had one victor who hid every year. We had one victor who hid the whole time. And you know what happened to them? I'm not even gonna say. You need to fight. Run to the cornucopia. All you have to do is get allies. Look, people are going to be running to the cornucopia. If you make allies with 1 and 2 and convince your other fellow district member to join you in making allies with them, you'll be able to get to the cornucopia with no issue. And all 6 of you, yes, 6, all 6 of you will be able to just kill whoever at the beginning and then go after those at the end, but do not get arrogant. Arrogance is key. Make sure you know how to find clean water. Don't start unnecessary fires, especially in the dark, where people can't find you. Make sure you know how to hunt, and if you don't, learn. Many things you have to do, so we can make sure you win these games. Because if you're crowned, you have to take my place, and I hate it. Yes, I won the games before. Do they not? I forget how disconnected the districts are. I am the very first winner of the Hunger Games. I won the season 4. Not the season 4. I am so messed up from the Capitol. I won the season arena, the 4-season arena, for the very first Hunger Games. Very dramatic. The Capitol keeps skin young. They keep us young. But we don't live forever, and there is always a downside. Yes, usually mentors take over, but none have stuck out to me like you have. And if you win these games, I will have you take my place. And then when another District 1 wins, you'll be able, or District 4, whatever, you'll be able to take my place, or they'll be able to take your place. Yeah. Districts, it doesn't matter right now. What used to be is gone.